Hi guys, welcome to Odds on Champions League. We have the semi-finals, Real Madrid, Chelsea, PSG, Man City. So let's analyze all these two games with Álvaro Romeo and Dani Fisichella and with you. So leave a comment below and you will have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And if you enjoy our videos, click on the like button, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get all the notifications. And now let's go on with the show. Champions League semi-finals. Finally, the best four teams in Europe. Let's see what we have, which bets we can make in this week. Always with Dani Fisichella and Álvaro Romeo. Hi, guys.
Ciao.
Hello, Edu.
A little bit unexpected, I would say, especially the first semi-finals. These two teams, they were not among the favorites to arrive until this stage. So let's take a look at Real Madrid-Chelsea on Tuesday at Valdebebas. And Real Madrid is favorite not only for this game, but also to qualify for the final. 1.8 for Los Blancos, 1.95 for Chelsea. But I have to say that I was confident with Liverpool, and I think this Chelsea will be very, very tricky. They have a great team. Dani, they show it once again in the Premier League with a good victory against West Ham. Now even Timo Werner is scoring and Real Madrid gasoline is running out. They drew in the weekend against Betis. A lot of injuries. Luckily, Kroos is going to be fit. Hazard was back, and this is a big thing for Los Blancos. Dani, what do you expect here for the first leg?
Very difficult to go for it. I mean, the quality of the four teams is so high. It's really going to be a matter of details. So let's start with the positive for both teams. Well, obviously the defense. The strength for both teams is in the defense, and the number justify it. 4 consecutive clean sheets for Real Madrid. Unfortunately, 3 of them were 0-0, whereas Chelsea has kept 16 clean sheets in 21 games with Tuchel. They are unbeaten in their 10 away games. We are also looking at very good defense overall. Second best defense of La Liga for Real Madrid, 24 goals conceded. Second best defense in Premier League for Chelsea, 31 goals conceded. The good news for Real Madrid is also they had Varane back since a couple of games. They didn't have him against Liverpool, and this is gonna be difficult because I think Chelsea are not gonna concede many spaces, especially on the flank. If Tuchel sticks with the 3-5-2, he's got the wing backs that can offer a lot of protection and double up on Vinicius, who was the most dangerous player against Liverpool in both legs. And now let's talk a little bit about the negative for both of them. Well, we said Real Madrid comes on the back of 3-0, and if Benzema doesn't score, the most dangerous man up front is Vinicius. He was rested against Betis for an hour, then he couldn't provide enough chances for them. Nonetheless, Benzema is in good form, 11 goals scored in the last 10, and he seems to find always the net and find, almost to wake up when, after hearing the Champions League anthem. For Chelsea, the attack is not the strength either. 7th attack of the Premier League, 31 goals in 51 goals in 33 games. They have a problem converting chances. I think against West Ham they could have scored 2 or 3 more. Yes, Werner was back on the score sheet, missed an amazing goal. He should have scored another one. I think the team still hasn't found the rhythm up front. However, they could break Real Madrid on the counter, as they did against Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final. So Real Madrid needs to be careful not to keep the line too high, but I think Chelsea are gonna be cautious for this one. So I'm gonna give you 2 chances in this one. Under 2 goals, which pays 2.26, or a first half draw, 2.08.
Alvaro, I think we all expect not many goals in this game. First is the first leg, and the teams will be cautious. But we thought also the same with Liverpool, and Real Madrid knew that they had their chances also to attack. So also maybe Zidane, who is a very specialist actually in this stage of the Champions League, decides to go forward and try to get an advantage as they did against Liverpool, for instance.
I think Real Madrid, they are going to attack certainly more than Chelsea. I believe that it will be a nice battle to control the game. And let's don't forget that even though Real Madrid had a very strong attacking approach against Liverpool, it was also Liverpool's centre-backs, the ones that gave away cheap goals against Real Madrid, all together with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think that Chelsea doesn't do so many concessions, definitely not so many gifts at the back. And this weekend I was commentating on Chelsea's game against West Ham United, and I wasn't particularly impressed by Chelsea's game. It wasn't very flashy, but they did a very solid display, and at the end of the day, this is what counts now. Chelsea, as Daniel said, they have had already 16 or 17 clean sheets this season, and I think that when Antonio Conte left Chelsea, he left the Rosetta Stone for the team there, which is the system 3-4-3, that every manager that has embraced it after Antonio Conte has succeeded. I think that Chelsea is very comfortable with three centre-backs, but Chelsea has an endemic problem that has been repeating itself for many years now. I think that they don't know how to attack a static defense. They don't know how to attack very well a team that defends. They tend to clog up the game in the middle. They don't have a quality passer, and this is something that defines Chelsea and defines Real Madrid as well. I think Real Madrid has the best midfielder in the world, all together with Manchester City and Bayern Munich, whereas Chelsea doesn't. I don't think that they have quality passers. They are missing a Cesc Fabregas, to put it some sort of way. They are missing somebody who gives a key pass in the final third, because Jorginho has quality, but he plays too deep, too far back. And I believe that this is Chelsea's reality right now. I mean, they are great defensively, but they are lacking something going up front. In fact, many players in Chelsea are hitting very decent numbers this season, but nobody is standing out. I mean, I believe that Chelsea's next decisive step towards becoming a title challenger will be only if one of the following guys, Ziyech, Werner, Havertz, Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi, improve to the point that they become evidently better than the rest. Right now, they all seem to be in a similar position, in a similar level, because none of them is fulfilling their potential. So I think Chelsea's next step is going to be whenever one of those five that I mentioned make an improvement and they become the players that we think that they have to be. When it comes to Real Madrid, I think that they are drained. I believe that Real Madrid are drained, but however, they are recovering players for this game, because Toni Kroos will be very likely to return. At the end of the day, he trained on Sunday. Eden Hazard, I don't think that he will feature or start from the beginning against Chelsea, but it's good to have him there. He played 15 minutes against Betis and he looked okay. Carvajal started versus Betis, and that was very important too. And let's see if somebody else can come, but definitely the defense of Real Madrid will improve with these guys. The only problem for Real Madrid is that all the goals have only one source normally, which is Karim Benzema, but at the same time it worked for them so far this season. It worked very well. They beat Liverpool, they beat Atalanta. In the Champions League they negotiated the most difficult group stage, so I'm going to consider Real Madrid favorite for this game. So I'm going to suggest our listeners to have a look at the under 2 goals market that pays 223. I find it very likely to happen the following: an Asian handicap of minus 0.25 for Real Madrid. If they win, they win. If they draw, you get half a lose, which is okay. But there are two options here that I strongly recommend. Real Madrid to win, combined with under 3 goals in the game, because I believe that Real Madrid and Chelsea right now are about defending. That pays 320.
I think, yeah, absolutely. I think the under 3 goals is the key. I think this tie is gonna be decided on the away goal rule. I cannot see over 2 legs, one team being far better than the other. We have to also remember that Real Madrid has Sergio Ramos coming back for the second leg. That's a lot of experience. Overall, Zidane's team has got experience, and it will be interesting to see who Thomas Tuchel chooses on the role of number 9, whether it's Pulisic, whether it's Ziyech, to try, as you said, to break the lines of Real Madrid a little bit more, because it's true, against West Ham they defended well, but West Ham always played in front of them, never behind. And you know, this Chelsea team has to be tested when players going behind. And
one thing, Edu, Danny, about Timo Werner, probably the more disappointing signing in the Premier League has been Donny van de Beek for Manchester United. I have no doubts about it. But I was expecting more from Timo Werner too, really. He's a player that if the action he's involved in doesn't have the goal in the horizon, then his vision gets blurry, really. He only knows what to do in a certain action if the goal is the final target. But when he drops deep and he plays, then he struggles. Against West Ham, however, he participated in the construction of the goal, which is something new for me when it comes to Timo Werner. But so far, I've been a bit disappointed.
To be fair, yeah, you're right. I think we would have expected more goal from him. But if you look at the way Chelsea unpicked Man City defense in the FA Cup semi-final, I think Timo Werner, that was decisive. If you deploy him a little bit on the wide side, so that would be playing against Lucas Vazquez on his left-hand side of Chelsea, he could exploit some joy. But then it's about also the final pass, the final decision, which the German has been lacking so far.
Mendy will be missing for Real Madrid. Probably he will be fit in the second leg, and I'm surprised actually checking the odds, because for Liverpool, Real Madrid was the underdog. Liverpool was clearly favorite, and here is the opposite. Real Madrid odds 2.42, Chelsea to win at Valdebebas 3.4. Alvaro said that he would bet on Real Madrid Asian handicap. Danny, you didn't want to say any outcome. Who do you think is more likely to go through, or who do
Real
you give
Madrid.
more advantage? Real Madrid.
I will go for Real Madrid to qualify. But as I said, on the away goal rule, I don't see a clear winner here this time.
You are same, Alvaro?
I would say yes, and I would say that maybe our listeners, if Daniele, you and I are so sure that the game is going to, this game in particular, is going to have so little goals, maybe the scoreline is something that could interest our audience. 0-0 pays 850, 1-0 for Real Madrid 775. You know, if we're too sure that this game is going to be like that, with a low scoreline, it's something that they should be looking at as well, because you are getting a very good money for scorelines that sound very logical to me, like a 2-0 for Real Madrid. You get 1150 for that.
Actually, I'm not sure that we won't see goals. I think Zidane and Real Madrid will get to the neck of Chelsea, and I think we will see a similar game as with Liverpool. Because Real Madrid don't know actually in the Champions League to play, I think, with the scoreboard, especially in the first leg. So I think there will be goals, and the thing is that we haven't seen this game yet in the Champions League. Chelsea always play with Atletico de Madrid or Barcelona with when they have to go to Spain, and the last time we saw these teams in an official game was in the Super Cup in 1998. So it will be nice to see this Real Madrid-Chelsea, and on Wednesday we have PSG Man City, and here I'm as well very surprised with the odds being Man City so favorite. The odds to win at the Parc des Princes is only 2.3, whereas PSG victory is 3.25. That's why actually I really like, I say it right now, at least the double chance or the Asian handicap 0 for PSG, because I don't think they are clearly the underdog. Alvaro, they showed that they can't suffer against teams like Bayern Munich. They had a very difficult Champions League draw actually with Barcelona, with Man United, Leipzig, also Bayern Munich, and PSG are still there, of course, with Mbappe scoring also in the French League. City, probably they are tired after the Carabao Cup final. They won against Spurs. How you see this semi-final, Alvaro?
Well, to start with, I will say that the odds, they are just a representation of something. The Premier League many times is about perception. I think that there is a perception that the Premier League is the best league in the world, and maybe it is this season. But these perceptions don't do justice to a team that reached the Champions League final in August, and don't do justice to a team that beat Barcelona and beat Bayern. And they beat Bayern, let's don't forget, without Verratti, for example. They beat Bayern with many players in the sidelines. Marquinhos didn't play either in the second leg against Bayern because he pulled out in the first leg, and yet they did the job. So if any team has done more merit to be to deserve the label of favorite in this game, is PSG more than Manchester City. I mean, I'm pretty sure about that. PSG, they are in the title race, and Manchester City, they played this weekend for the title of the Carabao Cup. So I think that both teams couldn't rest the way they would have wanted. The good thing for PSG is that in the same way that Real Madrid is recovering players, PSG is doing that. So Keylor was back against Metz. Verratti is playing football again. I don't think Marquinhos will be ready for this game, which is the same for PSG because they will have to play at the back with Kehrer and Kimpembe, and none of them are exactly leaders, in my opinion. And Mbappe and Neymar, they had to play during the weekend up to 85 minutes, I think, so they couldn't really rest. But team news-wise, I think that PSG is getting to this game in better conditions than they arrived to the game against Bayern. I think that PSG is the kind of team that they are the best counter-attacking team in the world if they want to play that way, and I believe that Manchester City are going to dominate the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester City, when they have the possession, they have three centre-backs, so one of the full-backs, either Cancelo or Walker, they will probably make a line with the centre-backs, because Pep Guardiola knows that the PSG is very dangerous when it comes to the counter-attack. Because the autonomy of Mbappe and Neymar is incredible. I mean, these are players who play 1-2 sometimes when they are 30 meters apart on the pitch, which is something that I haven't seen in any other team in the Champions League. When Mbappe has the ball on the left, your eye goes straight away to the right where Neymar is running to the box, and vice versa. So they've got such an understanding that they are basically the most dangerous partnership in the Champions League. So I think at Manchester City, they are going to try to keep the control of the game, and definitely not to lose the plot ever, because PSG can punish you in the counter-attack. I think that Manchester City gets into this game in a very good moment. They are in the Champions League semi-final for the second time in their history. This is a very special game for Riyad Mahrez, by the way, the Algerian player, because he was born in Paris, and I think that it can be a very nice game for him. But yeah, let's go to the odds straight away. I think that the 0-0, we have to write it off pretty much completely, because since October, these teams have played a combine of 20 games in the Champions League, 10 PSG, 10 Manchester City, and only one time there was a 0-0, that was against Porto, Manchester City drawing against them. So logic is telling us that both teams to score, which doesn't pay a lot, only 157, is the most logical bet you can place here. I mean, if you are going to bet, for example, 15 quid or $20, obviously you are going to get a good value for the both teams to score market. But anyway, I wanted to flag that. I find it attractive, the Asian handicap plus 0.25 for PSG. If they win, you win. If they draw, you get half a win. I find it more attractive, the draw. I think that the draw is a very good scoreline here that pays 3.95, and I like this one too. And I find it sexy as hell, the Asian handicap -1 for PSG is almost as well paid as PSG scoring a penalty. So this is how strange the odds are here. An Asian handicap of -1 for Paris Saint-Germain pays, PSG pays 540. PSG to score a penalty pays 550. By the way, PSG to score a penalty is not so crazy, because we know that Mbappe against Barcelona and against Bayern, he got many counter-attacks, and then when he gets in the box, anything can happen. But anyway, I think that the Asian handicap -1 for PSG is fantastic too. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, I think yes. I think the PSG advantage could be on the fact that they rested one day more than Manchester City. I think the league or the FA didn't make Manchester City a favor, make them play the final on Sunday, whereas PSG played on Saturday. Having said that, I think Manchester City totally dominated the game against Spurs. They showed in the Champions League they got more resilience this year because they went behind at Dortmund and they thought, here we go again. Now they're going to crumble. And actually they show they can come back into the game. They did against Aston Villa as well last week. Okay, Aston Villa is not PSG, but again, they came back into the game. It's a different kind of team, different kind of mentality this year we see from Pep Guardiola. It's a team that is more resilient, that knows how to put teams away, doesn't score as many goals as before, but wins you the game by the odd goal and concedes, obviously, very few goals. 7 clean sheets so far in the Champions League. I think that's really, really important, although in the last round against Borussia Dortmund, they didn't get any. For PSG, they were lucky against Bayern. I think if that game is played again 3 or 4 times, I think Bayern goes through every single time. Let's forget they didn't have Lewandowski because PSG had got absentees as well. But I think the amount of chances they created, the way they played in the second leg, pretty much PSG were on the back foot all the time. But PSG showed they have some epic now. They can grind out results. They can suffer, something that before they were not able to do. So then we need to take into account as well. As Alvaro said, I think Mbappe, Di Maria, Neymar, they're going to test the defense of Manchester City. That, as we said before when we talked about Chelsea, they can be caught on the break. They can be, if they play such a high line, maybe as Liverpool does sometimes, they can be in trouble. But if we look at the strength of both teams, I think the strength of Manchester City, as well as being composed and playing the ball nicely and knowing when to assess the killer blow, is also the defense. Whereas for PSG, they only kept 1 clean sheet in the last 8 games. I don't think that's where their strength lies. And in midfield, PSG is inferior to Manchester City. So I would imagine Manchester City to control the game and control the ball much more than PSG does. And, I agree with Alvaro. The odds for PSG are low. Maybe because sometimes we are surprised with PSG that we see, oh wow, they play so well. Probably because people don't watch them week in and week out. But PSG are a great team, got great players. But I think as a collective, Man City have done the step and they are above PSG in this moment. So I'm gonna go for Manchester City to score in both halves. That pays 3. That's because I think PSG will score. So Manchester City will need to score at least a couple to win the game, or Manchester City to win the first half, being on the front foot from the beginning, and that pays 2-8.
So Alvaro's is PSG, I think, slightly favorite, and for you, Danny, Man City is favorite for the whole tie.
I think yes. I think if Manchester City gets a good result, even a draw with goals or a win from the Parc des Princes, they go through. On the other side, yeah, of course, if they lose in Paris, it's more hand in the balance. But I would say 65% qualification for Man City, 45 for PSG. 35 for PSG.
Danny, your final would be Real Madrid, Man City?
Yes, absolutely.
And for you, Alvaro?
Real Madrid, PSG.
Then, thank you guys for this good analysis of the semi-finals. Now we can place our bets with more knowledge, with knowing and analyzing all these 4 teams. And next week we are back, of course, to see and to analyze the second leg. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Ciao.
Alvaro thinks Real Madrid PSG is going to be the final. Danny thinks it's going to be Man City Real Madrid. What do you think? Let me know below in the comment section, and you will also have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And of course, if you enjoy our videos and our analysis, click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell to get all the notifications. And if you prefer, you can also listen to all our videos in our podcast. And next week, for sure, we are back with more odds on Champions League.